Hello, welcome to another build video. My name is Mike the Fish, and today we have the Shatter Mesmer build, the Flash Shatter build as I like to call it. I've not seen many Shatter builds around, so I wanted to go over the one I use because it's just a lot of fun. This, by the way, is not for the faint-hearted. This is a complicated, many actions per minute build. Super fun when you start using it in PvE though, and is very close, if not comparable to the sort of damage you can get from a max damage phantasm build. So here we go. So for weapons we're using greatsword and we're swapping it out to a sword. And for utility skills we're using Signet of the Ether. Very nice heal skill. You can sometimes use this just to refresh your phantasms if you feel like it, particularly combined with Continuum Split. Using mirror images. We're in a shadow build, so we want to make as many clones as possible, as many illusions as possible. Mimic, always good. If you need two of these, brilliant for any Mesmer bar. And Signet of Illusions. So this gives more health to your phantasms, but it's mostly about using it to recharge your shadow abilities. So you got no shadows up? No problem, use this. Then your shadows are back up. You can use this to create really long periods of invulnerability if you need it, or you can use it just to stack on the damage. And then obviously time warp for our elite skill. So that's the skills. For equipment, we've got Berserker swords, Berserker weapons with accuracy and force. I like to just have permanent bonuses on sigils. Berserker amulet, Berserker rings, and I've currently moved my back piece to another character, but it is Berserker back piece as well. And then the rest is assassins. This is to get your crit chance up to a nice level. Assassins with Rune of the Scholar. Normally I wouldn't suggest like running something quite so glassy with Rune of the Scholar because I often feel that 10% damage bonus is lost, but on Mesmer it's a lot easier. Mobs in the open world tend to focus a lot on your illusions, and combined with the just staggering amount of distortion you have available to you, it's quite easy to keep that 10% bonus on. So that's the equipment. For traits, we're using Domination, Illusions, and Chronomancer. So for Domination, we've got Illusions deal more damage. You know, you're still putting out a lot of phantasms, so it's really helpful ability here. Activating a Signet grants you distortion and removes conditions. This is just very nice. You've got two Signets on your bar. That also reduces the recharge, so your health, your healing skill. Always nice to reduce the recharge of your healing skill. So that's just very nice ability. And then Mental Anguish. Shatter skills do 15% more damage. This is a big part of it. They do 30% when someone's not using a skill. I mean, this is an enormous damage boost to Shatter Mesmer builds. And the idea is to shatter as much as possible, so that's very nice. Illusions. We've got Shattering a Phantasm reduces recharge of all phantasms by a small amount. This is a very, very nice thing, and this works on top of any alacrity that you give yourself. And since you're constantly shattering, you're putting out a lot of phantasms a lot of the time, so this is a very nice trait. And then here we've got Shattered Strength. Shattering Illusions grants you might. You're constantly shattering, so that's stacking might. If you don't need might, you can use Phantasmal Haste here. Sometimes I like to use this, but for something I'll explain later, that does kind of get a little bit negated by what you're doing with the build. So Shatter Strength is nice trait. And then Master of Fragmentation, Mind Rack 10% crit. You're going to be mind racking a lot, basically on cooldown, so that's really nice. And then Diversion strikes up to 5 targets. This is really nice in the open world because it means you hit Diversion, which due to various traits has like a lot of vulnerability on it when you have 3 illusions. This will put enormous stacks of vulnerability on crowds of mobs, which is like a very, very nice thing. And then Distortion reflects projectiles. you can keep up a lot of distortion if you need to in this build. That's very nice. So on to Chronomancer. This is where the magic happens, and this is what makes a Shatter Mesmer so much fun. I could never get behind a Shatter build and on base Mesmer, but now it just feels so good. Time catches up. Activating a Shatter gives you illusions super speed. Just getting the illusions to sprint at whatever you're attacking, you know, like it adds to the burst. It makes it all a lot quicker. It's very nice trait. This is a minor trait, but I'm making a mention of it because you gain a alacrity for every illusion you shatter. This is huge. You're constantly shattering on this build. It means you constantly have alacrity, and this works on top of this thing here. Shattering a phantasm reduces all your recharge by a small amount. So you can see how your phantasms, you know, they only start at 16 seconds. You're getting a lot of alacrity and you're shattering a lot, so you're going to have phantasms up a lot of the time, which is really nice for keeping your damage up whilst constantly shattering. Shattering at least 2 illusions generates a clone. This is a very nice trait for shatter builds because the idea is you make 3 illusions, and then after that you only have to worry about making 2. So you make 3, you shatter 3, you get 1 back, you make 2. You shatter 3, you get 1 back, you make 2, and so on. And you quickly get into the rhythm when using this of only thinking that you have 2 clones to make, or 2 illusions to make, and that's a very nice thing for shatter builds. And then here, Chrono Phantasm. Everyone loves this trait. Even the standard Mesmer Phantasm builds love this because it means they can shatter whenever they feel like it, at least once. This is really good, and I'll explain why when we get to the training dummy. There's something you can do with this that's particularly nice when you're playing shatter builds. So yeah, that's the traits. So we're here at the target golem in PvP. I just wanted to demonstrate something about this build that's really nice, and if you can make the most use of this, this is where the damage really does come in. So I'm going to create a Phantasmal Swordsman, and you can watch basically what it does. It attacks, it waits a while, it attacks, it waits a while, and it attacks. And after the next attack, I'm actually going to shatter it instantly. So I actually pressed the button a little too early there. But what I'm trying to demonstrate is the 1 second days from 1.5 second days from shattering a phantasm is shorter than the time between attacks if you just leave a phantasm up. So why is this important? You get phantasms attacking more frequently by shattering them. If you can constantly get them up, you simply get more damage in a shorter amount of time. The question is, like, can you keep creating them? And this build is quite complicated for creating clones and constantly shattering them, but it's just a lot of fun to play with. So I'm going to go through some basic combos that I like to use. So here's a nice opening combo. We're going to use Mimic, we're going to use Mirror Images, we're going to use Mirror Blade, so we get 3 clones. Then we're going to Chrono Split, we're going to Mirror Images again, then we're going to Diversion. Then, stay with me, we're going to start putting our phantasms up. So let's give it a bash. So you can see now we've put some nice numbers out. Nothing too special, but you know, like, we're keeping the constant damage up, and you know, that's part of it. We're going to try and like shatter our phantasm after they attack, and try and keep as many phantasms, as many clones up as possible in a sort of consistent way. So you can sort of get the hang of what we're doing here, like fairly quickly. We're just constantly shattering. And we are constantly building up illusions as well. Meanwhile, we're doing our own damage, and it's just very consistent and very nice. And you can see we've got nice vulnerability stacks on the target as well. So, you might have noticed, while I was doing that, I was far from perfect on my rotations. This is very complicated to get ideal. I honestly wouldn't even know where to begin trying to sort this out so that it was ideal. It's very fun because you can mess around with the combos. You can do any sort of combination you like. Anything that sort of synergizes well. There's so much synergy here. It's pretty silly. So I encourage you to mess around, and if you find a good combo, tell me in the comments below. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So there you have it. That was the Flash Shatter Chronomancer build. Thanks for watching. Tell a friend.